What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we're ranking some Mancera fragrances. So I have way more than 10 at this stage. I did a top 10 in my collection a couple of years ago when I had maybe 17, 16 bottles of Mancera. I have quite a few more than that now, so more options to choose from. And through my experience with the brand, which it is one of my favorite brands, I would say these are the 10 that I absolutely think you must get your nose on. Sample them, try them, something. Smell them on your skin, because they are that good. And these are the 10, so stay tuned. Starting with one that I'm going to be bringing with me on my upcoming trip. This is probably my favorite lemon top note in all of fragrance. It is Mancera's Lemon Lime. As it sounds, it's sharp, somewhat candy sweet lemon. So it starts off very, very sharp and bright. Like a little mouth puckering type of, almost like a lemon heads type of lemon when I say candy, because it still has a sharpness to it, but still has a little bit of sweetness at the same time to give it that candied feel. Dries into a creamier wood. It's nothing super complex. There's more notes to it than that, but it really is that simple. Sharp lemon that starts to become a sweet candied lemon with some woods. Great performance. It's worth trying out. It really is. It's one of the better freshies from the house, and if you're a fan of dominant lemon in your fragrances, this is one you absolutely need to try. You definitely should get your nose on this. My first impressions on this one was a 9 out of 10. I still think, after time with having it at this point, it's a 9 out of 10 fragrance. It's outstanding. If you're like me and you like just that sharp, fresh-cut lemon smell, you really can't go wrong here. Performance is phenomenal as well. Great year-round. It's Mancera Lemon Lime. So there seems to be a trend starting with Mancera. So at the recording of this, we just got some information on the new upcoming Intense Red Tobacco. So I have a feeling some of their more popular fragrances, it's the two most popular we've gotten intense versions of so far. And of course, I'm talking about Intense Cedrat, the first one for them to do it. And when I say they masterfully composed, Pierre Montal did his thing with Intense Cedrat. So he took the original, which is a very beloved scent here on this channel. It's one of my favorite fragrances ever composed. Here he made it warmer, he made it spicier, it's a little bit more animalistic. There's a suede note that dominates. The Cambodian Aoud offers that animalic woody tone. You still have the sharp lemon, the fruity sweetness is there, but it's not as sweet. Like I said, it's more warm and spicy at its core, just more of an enthusiast fragrance. It's more to appreciate for those that treat this as a hobby. This is good stuff. We're going to give it a little spray with that pressurized atomizer magnetic cap. It's a 40% extrait. Performance on this is ridiculous. It's overbearing. I literally go nose blind to it in less than 30 minutes. And then when my nose comes back several hours in, it smells like I just sprayed it. So any of you that feel like, oh, it's weak, I don't know what you're talking about with it being a beast, your nose is wearing out quickly, because mine does it too. So don't just continue to spray and spray and spray, because this is a monster performer. So spray wisely depending on your situation, but one that you definitely should try. Absolutely a must-try from the house. Mancera Intense Cedrat. Breezy, watery, citric, a little floral and soapy, and a very clean, musky tone. This is a very easygoing, laid-back summer freshie from the house. One of the best. You definitely should try Soleil d'Italie. This is masterfully done. I mean, the reason these 10 are here is because, in my opinion, they're masterfully done. So I don't need to keep repeating that, obviously. But this gives me the similar feel and vibe to Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. Now, it doesn't have the peppered spice and the incense, but kind of the breezy, airy, aquatic nature to it with the citrus, and kind of just the overall feeling it gives off is where the similarity comes in. They are not the same scent profile, though there is a slight similarity. This is a very, like I said, breezy, light and airy fragrance that still has some staying power. This won't really overwhelm, but it has a nice, lightly creamy and soapy, white floral, clean, musky type of heart to it. Like I said, watery notes and citrus. It's so enjoyable, perfectly unisex. Everybody can get down with this fragrance, in my opinion. Super easy to enjoy. A great summer daytime scent where you just can't go wrong. Again, it's going to stick to your skin. It's going to last, but it's not going to overwhelm. If you spray heavy, obviously it's going to be a lot in the first 30 minutes. That's every fragrance, but after about an hour, hour and a half, it does calm down. It's not just a faint skin scent at that point. There's a nice, I would say, moderate to mild sea eyes that'll remind you. You'll get nice little wafts of it to remind you it's there. It's so easy and versatile. Like I said, best for a hot day. You could wear it year-round if you really want to, if freshies are just your thing. But there's one thing I would definitely encourage you to do, and that is try it. You won't know how good it is unless you actually try it. Mancera Soleil. This one seems to be a little polarizing for some, though. I consider it to be top 5 from the house, because this isn't exactly ranked. I did save the main 3 for last. The top 3 are ranked. The rest of these, you could put them anywhere you want in the 10. In the 10 through 4 spot, you can put them anywhere. And that's the case here. This would technically, if I was ranking it, go in top 5. It is a spicy cola vibe. It is Mancera Tonka Cola, one of the releases from 2022, last year at the recording of this. I am such a huge fan of this. There's, instead of carbonation for the cherry cola vibe, like carbonation in the soda, there's spice that kind of substitutes for it to almost give you a carbonated feeling to it. There's a tonka bean note. It's a little powdery. It's sweet. This is rich. There's a little bit of an earthy and woody feel to it. There's a lot going on. It's spicy, spicy. I love that about it. This is so good. Like I said, it's a little polarizing. Some people aren't fans of it. I mean, that's every fragrance though, right? But this is an experience to have. This is one, I mean, it's here for a reason. You need to try this one. Some people will compare it or immediately think of Enigma or Creation E from Roger Parfums. Faint similarity, not really all that much. That's more sweet, boozy, tobacco, loads of heliotrope and cognac. It still has the cola vibe, whereas this is very spicy and vanillic. It's a totally different type of sweetness, but a lot more spice. And it's a bit more powdery as well. Not a super powdery fragrance, but a little bit of powder. And powerful. The last time I wore this one, I sprayed like 7 or 8 sprays in a massive room in a crowd full of like-minded fragrance lovers wearing some niche stuff. This was standing out. They were able to smell me because it's so immensely powerful. No slouch. If you're worried about strength, don't worry when it comes to Mancera Tonka Cola. It's definitely got the potency. And it's one of the better smelling for fall and winter. Definitely try this one out. We're back to easygoing, yacht club type of vibe. Not that I frequent yachts or anything, but that's kind of the thought process when I smell this one. Creamy white florals, a little powdery, watery and citric. There's this Taire flower, this white floral feel that's more creamy than powdery. So think of it that way. It's a laid-back, casual fragrance. Great chill vibe. It is Mancera French Riviera. This is my favorite fresh fragrance from the house. This one would fall into the top 5 if it was ranked as well. So the top 3 that actually is the last 3 in this video, and this and Tonka Cola. That's my top 5, just to give you guys perspective if it was ranked. Now look, it's not miraculously unique. It's not going to wow anyone when you smell it and be like, oh my God, I've never smelled something so good. But the wearing experience is where the love affair begins. When you give yourself a few sprays and you go on about your business, whatever you're doing that day, and you just kind of live in the sillage, as I like to say, you go through the motions of your day and just let it come and go and hit you in the nose from time to time and potentially get feedback from others, because there's always that possibility that it will happen. This is an entire vibe in itself. Like I said, very casual, laid back, still has a little bit of elegance and luxury to it. So that's why I say yacht club vibe. So Riviera type of feel, hence the name, French Riviera, coastline type of lifestyle, water sports, things of that nature. Performance here, well above average. I wouldn't call this one a beast. Projection is on the moderate side. It's not super heavy, but pronounced. People will smell you, especially if you do a moderate spray routine, 5 to 7 sprays, which I typically do with this one. And you will get lasting power, though. You will definitely get in the 9 to 10 hour range. At least I do. So I would expect at least 8 hours out of this one. Unless you have super dry skin, you should get somewhere in that range. I would say at minimum 6, even with drier skin. But Who knows? Everybody's different, right? And anosmia is a real thing. But if you want a more casual, fresh fragrance that still offers a bit of luxury to it, this luxurious smell without being serious, that's always its own vibe. Like I said, luxurious but laid back is definitely French Riviera. Get your nose on it. This is one of the more unique fresh fragrances I've ever smelled. For a long time, this was top 3 Mancera in the house for me. Granted, I've gotten more since I got this one that bumped it down a bit, but it's still in the top 10. Obviously, it's so good. It combines grapefruit, fresh cut grass, salty sea breeze aquatic smell with a clean musk. It is Mancera's Wave Musk. Still pretty easy to find at discounters. Recently, my buddy EQ at the Channel of Quality Fragrances noticed that it was off of the Mancera website, called me up to let me know. So I don't know if that means it's no longer in production. I would assume that's what that means, but I'm not confirming nor denying, just sharing a fun tidbit, not really fun, but a tidbit about this fragrance specifically. I have an older screw cap design, obviously. This has always been an 8 or 9 hour fragrance in longevity. Solid 2 hours of very, not super strong projection, but it gets out in the air and wafts really, really easy. This is another one that's kind of breezy, kind of in the realm of how the performance and projection is with Soleil d'Italie that we spoke of earlier in this video. This is quite unique. The closest thing I could think of to give you kind of a measuring stick for the kind of scent profile to expect would be Carolina Herrera 212 Men, the original, but this is a deeper, higher quality fragrance than that. But think the grapefruit citrus with the fresh cut grass. That smell enhanced the quality, adds some sea salt, some aquatic tones, a better clean musk, a little bit of woods, like just Mancera's oil choices and perfumery and Pierre Montal's blending skills, basically. You get a better version of that. So if you've ever been a fan of that, this is kind of niche 212 Men in many ways. I hope that makes sense to some of you watching this. So if that excites you in any way, then there's no doubt you need to get your nose on this. But if you're just looking for a different freshie and you like green, you like aquatic, you want to combine the two with something what I deem to be special, then you should really try Mancera's Wave Musk. Now this isn't for everybody, but those that can appreciate a good floral fragrance with citrus, it's masterfully done. It's one of the most popular and best of house. It is Mancera's Sicily. So juicy florals, rose, lang-a-lang really stands out here for me. I believe there's a little bit of violet, a lot of citrus, powdery, a little sweet and juicy and fruity at the same time. Beach vibe, summertime. This is hanging out in the tropics, palm trees. This is all of that with the garden and the florals nearby, having lunch, having an early afternoon drink on vacation. That's the vibe here. God, I smell that in the air. Juicy fruit, exotic fruit type of smell with juicy florals, a little powdery, not too powdery. Does lean a little feminine, but man, is this good. Man, is this good. This is another one of those 9 out of 10 outstanding fragrances from the house, in my opinion. Must try. Must try. And there's people that are watching this right now that have this that are probably going to comment, yes, definitely, Sicily. I totally agree. And then there's some that's going to say, way too feminine. I tried it. Didn't work for me. That's why I said what I said to start this segment. It might be a little too feminine for some, but for me, it's spot on, right up my alley. I can greatly appreciate this one. And at minimum, it's worthy of getting your nose on it. It's easy to find samples from Mancera and discovery sets all over the internet. And this is one that if you like florals, fresh, fruity floral fragrances, then you owe it to yourself to try Mancera Sicily. Oh, and before we go, somebody's going to ask, it's a beast. Now, I intentionally organized these 3 last because these, from what I've seen, are the most popular, gotten the most hype over the years, and have earned it. They deserve it. If you only try 3 fragrances from Mancera, let this be the first of the 3. Oud Lemon Mint. So you'll see a lot of love for this one. This gets a lot of praise. It's a creamy lemon almond sandalwood oud combo. Not really all that much mint going on here, even though it's in the name, but it's creamy, It's woodsy. It's a little bitter because of the way the almond comes across. It's a monstrous performer, a unique compliment getter. I don't own another fragrance. I own about 1,300 fragrances. I've smelled thousands of fragrances at this stage of the recording this video. I haven't smelled another fragrance that smells just like Oud Lemon Mint. It is phenomenal. It is absolutely a must-try. Among must-tries is how you can look at this. So I don't really have anything to add beyond that. We covered the scent profile, we covered the ridiculous performance, and it's a very unique experience which really makes people want to ask you about it because they will smell you because it's really strong. It smells really unique, but it smells really, really good at the same time. So as must-try as they get from Mancera is Oud Lemon Mint. Now, I mentioned how we have an intense flanker coming, so some of you know right away what we're talking about here. Now, my bottle leaked a long time ago, so that's why the label's a little bubbled up. But Red Tobacco, I mean, is there a more hyped cold weather fragrance in existence than Mancera Red Tobacco? That's why you see these ripples here, because it leaked. I've had this for years, and it leaks, and you can see, like, that's not scratches. That's from the perfumer's alcohol and the oils. Me trying to clean it off, and it actually ate through some of the red dye on the glass. But I got to point it out and be like, what's wrong with your bottle? That's what somebody's going to ask that hasn't seen before. This is an older screw cap design. This is one of the most absurdly powerful, pungent, potent fragrances I've ever experienced. I've never sprayed this more than 4 times. I never will. But damn, does it smell good. Smoky, tobacco, oud, sweet, pungent, a little spiced, woodsy, ambery, rich and ambery, warm. This is an extremely pungent and masculine compliment getter. One of the best tobacco fragrances ever. There was a time, before I really expanded to the stage this collection's at now and got my nose on the level of things I've gotten now, that this was my absolute favorite tobacco fragrance. There's a few I put above it now, but it hasn't fallen past 3. So think about that. There's only 2. When I got this, I had probably, just in my possession, 500 fragrances. I now have almost triple that, and it's fallen to number 3. So it's really, really hard to trump this one. There's a lot of people that this is their favorite, and for good reason. If potency and being a head turner matters a lot to you. If you're wearing fragrance for more than just your own enjoyment, and you want somebody to tell you about your fragrance, ask you about it, have a conversation, give you a compliment, even tell you smell bad, just have a conversation because it's absurdly strong. This is one of those fragrances you're going to want to add to your collection. It's not just a must try, it's kind of must own, but try it first. Not a safe blind buy in my opinion, but one that needs to be experienced because it's one of the greatest creations in perfumery of all time. I said it and I stand by it. Again, that's Mancera Red Tobacco. Longtime viewers of the channel know exactly what number 1 is because I firmly believe if you're only going to try one from the house, you need to try Cedrat Boise. It's one of my favorite fragrances ever. And there's people that are going to say, oh, you have an older screw cap design. Yours performs, oh, it's so weak now, especially since they put the Intense out, and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try the scent profile, even if you decide it doesn't perform well enough for you, because this is, this still isn't a beast for me. 8 hours-ish, 8-9 hours, I'd call it 8 to 10. Pretty good projection for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Sillage has always been pretty good. I used to have a decant of an even older bottle that was a beast compared to this. So compared to current ones, according to what you guys have told me, that would be nuclear. So obviously, this is where the sampling comes in. The reason I talk about trying these is not to see what kind of performance you're going to get, but so you can experience the olfactive side of it. See what it smells like. See how it comes across on your skin. The performance is going to vary for everyone. Everybody's nose and skin chemistry, natural oil reaction to these fragrance oils is different. The way this smells on me might not be exactly the way it smells on you. The way this performs on me might not be exactly the way this performs on you. This specific bottle even. But that doesn't change the fact that it's one of the most versatile, well-liked, easy to enjoy fragrances ever made. I had to put this at number one because I firmly believe it's number one. Where, like I said before, 4 through 10, you could put them anywhere you want in the 4 through 10 holes. But this top three, it's the top three. You need to try this. It's more important, in my opinion, to try this than the Intense. I feel like you should start with the original first to be able to understand and more appreciate, much more appreciate what they did with the Intense. But this is still phenomenal. This is, in my opinion, the best starter niche fragrance out there because you can get it for about 70-ish range, $65 to $85 price point from discounters online for a 4-ounce bottle, and it's hard to not enjoy. It's very good in every situation with every type of attire. It's just that good. It's as Swiss Army knife, hyper versatile, signature scent worthy as they come. Get your nose on this one. Try it for yourself. It is sharp lemon, fruity notes, dry woods, a touch of leather. It is Mancera Cedrat Boise. Well, that's the 10 that I have for you today. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. Of these 10, what have you tried? Do you agree with some of my assessments? Do you disagree? It's all good in the hood. Keep it respectful. We can have a great conversation down in the comments. But aside from that, did any of these spark your interest for those of you that haven't tried some of these? Again, I strongly encourage you. Try them out. You can get them for a great price from discounters online. Straight up affordable designer prices for kind of what I would say beginner level, early stages on to mid-level luxury niche. Some of these are a cut above. Some of these are just a little bit better than designers, but they all perform pretty well. They all smell really good. And you're not going to pay a lot of money. What's not to like, right? And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of the 10 that we featured here today and you give them a spray now, you're probably going to thank me later. Have a good one, guys.